Okay, so here it is. This will only slide onto the smaller pipe, this sleeve here. And there's what I didn't know was there until I watched another YouTube video, because I have never touched a Yamaha Jetski before yesterday. I had never touched one. And it's with videos like this to give you the confidence to do this sort of work yourself. So once I get these two loose, I should be able to get this piece out, and then this little section will come off. Trying to think of anything of note with this. I try to, instead of just popping my clamps off, I just kind of retighten them so that I don't lose these little clamps. Because if you drop stuff in these jet ski holes, you may never find it. And you can see I got a little 2-cycle oil in this one. So I have, obviously, I'm going to show you how these oil lines leak. So it's either somebody spilled it, or there's going to be the oil line. And this one will only have two because it's a 2-cylinder. The oil lines will pull off just from the hose shrinking, and they're factory sealed on there with tie wraps. So let's get in here and we'll show you the progress as we make. Okay, I've slipped this other collar back, and you can see we've got looseness still attached down the bottom, but I have taken the muffler, I guess that's equivalent of a muffler, loose, so that this is the other side of it. It's all loose. It's just a matter of working this thing out of here. And I did want to mention 2 bolts that I didn't bring up in the video. There are 2 12mm bolts that are down here that you've got to take loose. You see they've got a cutout so that you can get to the head of this one. This one, they didn't have to do that. It was, well, they did do a cutout. So there's 2 down there that aren't obvious. And of course, I even forgot to mention them on video. But those have got to come out as well. And I'll work with this. Got to have both hands and try to get this piece out so that I can see my carburetor. All right, back in for something I did not know. You will notice we have a Zerk fitting, which is a grease fitting, for the carrier bearing. Look at this. It's got a hose that runs down to that bearing that goes through the hull there, coming off your PTO, power takeoff shaft, from the back of your engine. So they gave you a grease fitting to keep that bearing lubed up, which is kind of nice. And I bet you nobody knew it. But anyway, I didn't know it was there. Nobody ever mentioned that in a video. And you can see they've got the traditional tie wraps. I've got to cut that to get this exhaust manifold on out of here. But that's nice, because you really can't get to that. Man, you'd have to have a very long grease hose to get to that bearing to lube it, and I didn't even know that was there. So you best believe when I put this back together, I will be using marine grease to lube that baby back up. Okay, so that was it. I got that Zerk fitting on the boot, and everything came out with this one. But you can see a better view of your grease fitting. Seemed dry on the bottom. I didn't notice any grease coming out of the hose, so I'm guessing it's never been used, because people don't read the owner's manual, and I bet you that it said something about maintaining it there. So I will be lubing it. Now I use this drill with a wire. I've got 2 types of wire brushes. I've got one, this one, you know, gets down on everything. You can get in these edges, clean all that stuff back up, that's the easy way to do it for me. You just put that drill on, you can see it just knocks that stuff off real quick and easy. I do that with the heads and all of my gasket mating surfaces. So let's see what we've got here. We have this carburetor. Here it is, factory tie wraps holding your oil lines on from your oil pump. And I want you to notice this one. I want you to notice what's happened Do you see the gap right here? Let me get my screwdriver. Maybe I can demonstrate it so that my big fat finger isn't in the way. You've got space right here where this has started backing off because of shrinkage of the tubing. And so it causes two-cycle oil to start leaking. They'll back off, they'll crack, what have you. And that's what kills these two-stroke jet skis. That's what kills the engine. Now, this particular engine, it has somewhat of a noise. So I don't know if it's a broken rod or if the piston's got a hole in it, or I want to show you this power valves is what these are. These are power valves. And then what I understand about these power valves is the factory clips that hold the, there's a plunger inside of like a solenoid looking thing. And the factory clips will break, allowing that plunger to drop out and drop down into the cylinder, and it ruins the cylinder. And you want to replace those factory ones that are no good with, they call it a wave eater clip. And I just learned this yesterday just by reading forum posts on power watercraft bulletin boards. There's one called Green Hulk. Anyway, what I'm saying is people have been there, done that, and they've posted about it online. So it's up to you to educate yourself about how to work on this stuff if you're going to do it. But the knowledge is there and freely shared on the internet. So anyway, I'm going to be pulling this head next. If I can get to it. I've got, that bolt will be difficult to get to without getting this piece here off. So I'll check back in with you when I get it done.